Jai Jagannath, Radhe Radhe. Here we are reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, from verse 17, where we stopped last time. Arjuna is asking Krishna how we should meditate on God, on Krishna. Okay, so Arjuna says, O yogi, how should I know you through constant meditation? O Lord, in which different ways and sentiments should I contemplate you? Sentiments is the bhaveshu, in which bhava. Okay, so we go on and see what Krishna says. Maybe for some people will be little a little weird. So what kind of meditation? Arjuna is asking specifically for the various manifestations of God's Vibhuti Yoga. So Arjuna says, O Janardana, please describe the various manifestations of your Vibhuti Yoga again, because I can never be tired of hearing such nectar. This is actual nectar. And verse 19, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Hanta, Han, the wonderful Lord said, yes, O best of the Kurus, I will tell you about the divine potencies of the self, but only about the most prominent, because there is no end in the variety of my glories. So when Krishna is speaking about the self, he's talking about Atma Vibhutaya, means his self, of himself. The Vibhuti, the powers, the potencies of the Atma, which is the Supreme Atma is Krishna, is God, Param Atma. Okay, we have 20, and Krishna is highlighting this point. He say, O Gudakesha, I am the Atman situated in the hearts of all beings. It's a Param Atman. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings as well. All beings and all situations. The Atman of the Atman. Param Atma. And 21. Among the Adityas I am Vishnu. Among the lights I am the radiant sun. To the Marutas I am Marichi. To the constellations I am the moon. Okay. This is an interesting verse. Do you have any questions about this?
No.
Haha, okay. So,
So,
who is Vishnu
who
among
is
the
this?
Adityas? Vamana, who is
Yeah.
also the son of Aditi. Okay. Among the lights of the radiant sun, and here we can easily understand, the Marutas, the Marichi in connection with the Marutas, okay, we have the 12 Adityas, Vishnu is Vamana. Let's see the Marichis, Marutas. Equally, if not more intriguing, are the Marutas or Marutaganas, usually associated with wind, storm, or air, including the breathing in human beings. Close companions of Indra. Actually, the Marutas were sons of Diti, the mother of the Daityas, enemies of the Adityas. But as explained in chapter 18 of Canto 6 of the Bhagavad Purana, Indra came to know that Diti was planning to generate a son who would be his enemy. And he managed to enter Diti's womb to kill the embryo by cutting it to pieces. However, by the power of Diti's austerities, each of the pieces continued to live independently as an individual child. So, after the original embryo had cloned itself into 49, Indra decided to befriend them and consider them as his brothers, Sodara. The 7 main Marutas are listed in Vedic literature as Avaha, Pravaha, Vivaha, Paravaha, Udvaha, Samvaha, Parivaha. It is then obvious that Marichi, literally ray of light, is not the most prominent among these sons of deity, and it does not even seem to be the original embryo. The only famous Marichi is a Marichi Rishi, that is the Manasaputra of Brahma and one of the Sapta Rishis, who became the father of Kashyapa Rishi. Now, why Krishna is talking about Marichi? Okay. It is not very clear, but what we can find is that the Maruta is the Vedic definition of space and wind, as 49 varieties of forces of vibrational frequencies, not connected to light, sound, magnetism, or gravity, that are listed separately. So this idea that Krishna says that he is Marichi among the Marutas, I think it is more similar to the second part, to the last piece of the verse. It means that Marichi Rishi has some connection to the Marutas. He's not one of them. In the same way, Krishna says to the constellations, I am the moon. We know that the moon is not one of the constellations, not one of the nakshatras. So the relationship here is the point. So it is logical to to understand that Marichi, as Marichi Rishi, has some higher knowledge, higher power related to the Marut. In this same way, the moon is the husband of the nakshatras. So we are talking about the relationship here, not as a position of prominence of one individual of the same group. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we continue. Then 22. Of the Vedas, I am the Sama. Of the Devas, I am Basara. Of the senses, I am the mind. In living beings, I am consciousness. So here the commentary, the elaboration on the verse is explaining why the Samaveda is the most elaborate and artistic of the 4 Sanhitas. And it's meant to be sung rather than chanted in the rituals to call the Devas. So, among the Vedas, the Sama is the most refined, artistic, and beautiful. The musical tunes of the Samaveda are mathematical combinations of the basic notes, so they add extra power to the hymns of the Rig and Yajur. Mathematics were very highly respected, and so on. The name Vasava generally referred to Indra literally means of the Vasus, that are the subtle material elements of the cosmos, and as personifications they are one of the main group of Devas, together with the Adityas and the Rudras. Okay, so they are the 8 principles of the cosmic manifestation, sometimes referred to as material elements. Okay, so the personifications of these Vasus are Agni, Prithvi, Vayu, Antariksha, Aditya, the Ayus, and Nakshatra, and all the various elements. So of the senses, I am the mind. This is quite understandable. In living beings, I am consciousness. This is also quite plain as meaning. You stop me whenever you have some questions. We have 23.
Yeah.
Of the Rudras, I am Shankara. Okay. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kubera. Vittesha, the Lord of Wealth. Of the Vasus, I am fire. And among the peaks, I am Meru. So this shows the greatest power, the great majesty, the great influence. Okay. 24. O son of Pritha, know that among the priests I am the chief, Brihaspati. Of course, the idea of priest is in Hinduism and Vedic culture, as intended by Krishna, is not the same idea of Christianity, for example. So it's a different type of idea referring to a priest. What is a priest? Among the generals, I am Skanda. Skanda or Kartikeya is the personification of battle valor. It's the greatest general. Among the lakes, I am the ocean. Okay, now Sara means lake. Now, of course, the ocean is not a lake, but we can mean a lake as a water reservoir that is not running, so something that is always in the same place. Okay, so we have 25. Of the great rishis, I am Bhrigu. Among the words, I am the one syllable, means the Om, Ekaksharam. Of the sacrifices, I am the Japa Yagya. Among the established things, I am the Himalaya. Okay. Okay, so Bhrigu. Okay. 26. Among all the plants, I am the Aswatha. Aswatha is a particular type of banyan trees, Okay, so the Aswatha. Among the rishis of the Devas, the Varshis, I am Narada. Among the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarat. Among the Siddhas, I am Kapila Muni. So we can go through the commentary to see why Krishna is saying these things. Should we read it or not? Maybe not. If someone wants to read it, they know what it is. Okay. So Narada. Okay. Then we have 27. Among the horses, I am Uchai born from the nectar. When the ocean of milk was churned. Uchai was one of the entities that came out, and this horse was taken by Indra, I think. Okay, then among the kings of elephants, I am Airavata. This is also the elephant of Indra. Among the human beings, I am the king, the chief, the most important in society. Okay. 28. Among the weapons, I am the Vajra. The Vajra is the thunderbolt. It's a weapon of Indra. Among the cows, I am the Kamadhenu. Of those who generate offspring, I am Kandarpa. Kandarpa is Kamadeva. Of the serpents, I am Vasuki. That is, Sarpanam includes the Nagas as well. Okay. And 29. Oops. Of the Nagas, I am Ananta. Ananta Sesha. Ananta Naga. Of the aquatic principles, I am Varuna. Among the Pitris, I am Aryama. And among the law enforcers, I am Yama. Yamaraj. There seems to be a superimposition between the Sarpas of the previous verse and the Nagas of this verse, with Vasuki and Anta Sesha mentioned respectively. This could be explained by considering that the category of Sarpa also includes ordinary snakes, so it is fitting to be topped by a divine Naga like Vasuki. On the other hand, the Nagas are all divine serpents with powers far exceeding those of human beings, and Ananta Sesha Naga cannot be called a mere Sarpa. It is a different and higher level. So the chapter 25, the 5th canto of the Bhagavad Purana is all dedicated to elaborations about Ananta Sesha. Okay, Ananta Sankarsha. And explanations, elaborations. And 30. Among the Daityas, I am Prahlad. Among the conquerors, I am Time. I am also the king of the animals among the beasts, and the son of Vinata among the birds. The son of Vinata is Garuda, obviously. So why Prahlad is most important of the Daityas? Daityas are supposed to be Rakshasas. But Prahlad is, although he is a descendant of Diti, he is a great devotee of Vishnu. So this is special. Prahlad is special. Then 31. Among the purifiers, I am Pavana. Pavana is the wind. And Pavana actually means purifier, Among those who carry weapons, I am Ram. Among the water creatures, I am the Makara. Among the flowing rivers, I am Jannavi. Jannavi is the Ganga. The Makara is interesting because it's a very particular type of animal. It's difficult to understand what kind of animal it is exactly, because sometimes it's imagined as a shark and sometimes as a crocodile. But in fact, we have depictions, and it's quite different both from shark and crocodile. So it has the head of a crocodile and a tail of a fish. So probably you heard about the Capricorn, Makara Sankranti. In English is a Capricorn, And if you see the symbol of the Capricorn in Western astrology, it's an animal that has a tail of the fish and the head of a different type of head, usually not the head of a fish. Anyway, so the Makara is going around. Okay, then we have Jannavi. 32. Of all creations, I am the beginning, middle, and end. O Arjuna, among the sciences, I am the science of the Atman, and in all discussions, I am the conclusion. Everything is clear here, huh? This is
Yes.
quite easy compared to the other points where we need to have a bit of a background. Okay, 33. Of the letters, I am the A. Of the compound words, I am the Dvandva. I am time eternal, the creator and the omnipresent consciousness of the universe. Vishvatomukha, whose faces are everywhere. Okay. Why of the letters Krishna says I am the A, the A? Because especially in Sanskrit, all the letters, all the consonants are supported by the A, and even the vowels are supported by the A. So, the A is the support of every sound. Okay, Vishvatomukha. 34. Among those who take away things, I am death. Of future things, I am the fulfillment. In women, I am fame, splendor, eloquence, memory, intelligence, determination, and patience. So this is very interesting. These qualities chosen by Krishna to describe the best characteristics of women. Eloquence is like interesting because according to the Abrahamic religions, women should never talk. Just shut up. Okay. Okie dokie. Then we have 35. Among the hymns of the Samaveda, I am the Brihat Sama, the great Sama. Among the forms of poetry, I am the Gayatri. Among the months, I am Margasirsha. Among the seasons, I am the one that brings flowers. This is very nice. Very poetic. Okay. Then we have 36. Among cheaters, I am gambling, this is very deep and very true. Of all that is radiant, I am the power that radiates. Of all ventures, I am victory. Of everything good, I am goodness. 37. Among the Vrishnis, I am Vasudeva. Among the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya. Among the Munis, I am Vyasa. And among the scholars, I am Kavi Ushana. Kavi Ushana is the priest, the guru of the Daityas. It's Sukracharya. Okay, then we have some of the sayings of Sukracharya, which is very interesting. 38. Among the subduers, I am the use of force. Of those who seek victory, I am ethical behavior. Of secrets, I am silence. Of those who have knowledge, I am knowledge itself. So, we see that Krishna is not just presenting himself as the most prominent individual of a particular category. He is talking about the meaning of the category. the basis, the support, the origin of the category as well. Okay. 39. O Arjuna, I am the seed of all existences, of all beings, moving and non-moving. Without me, nothing could ever exist, which is interesting. It's not because Krishna is a creator, but because Krishna is existence itself. So some people have problems in understanding this because they see God as separate from creation. They don't understand what omnipresent means. So they think that God is not omnipresent, which is, of course, nonsense. Okay. 40. O Parantapa, there is no end to my divine powers. This series of statements in the previous verses that I have spoken about was just to exemplify the scope of my glories. Okay. 41. Anything that is good, powerful, wonderful, or glorious that you should encounter has come to existence as a part of my radiance, my tejas. Tejo Amsa, a part of my tejas. 42. Okay. Arjuna, what more should we say about these things that can be known? I pervade and establish this entire universe simply by one partial manifestation of myself, which is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Okay. Ekam Sena Sita, established by one of my parts, from my one Amsa. And we finish the chapter 10. Now, you want to comment about this? Okay, not particularly. So we could say that this chapter in Bhagavad Gita is giving us a very useful first step in meditation to understand God on a transcendental level. Many people have a very materialistic and limited idea of God. Unfortunately, I can see it every day on Quora. People ask such stupid questions because they think that the gods with a small g, are just ordinary beings. Like, for example, one guy was asking me if Parvati, how did Parvati address the fact that she was only a second wife? How she would explain it to people who were asking her about it. It's like, oh, okay, Or they want to know when Vishnu and Lakshmi married, how many children they had. Of course, we use these, definitions, categories, to help people understand by starting from their daily experience. But we should never make the mistake of restricting, limiting God to a material personality who has a body, material body, with limits. And unfortunately, I think that sometimes this confusion is also due to some of these mythological serials, like the Puranas, the Mahabharata, Ramayana, and stuff that are, done on TV. Because they actually tend to confuse people. They're not made by realized souls, by people who have sufficient knowledge of the Shastra. So they come up with stuff that the playwright, the guy who's writing the story and the dialogues and the scenes and everything, they put their own opinions and what they think that the public will like. Because after all, these productions are commercial productions made to sell commercial advertisement. So they want to have more audience, more people who will watch the episodes. And if they have to distort and pull and push and put some drama, like that, they will be happy to do that. I agree that that could be, this kind of productions can be made also with some good intentions, but they don't come out well. So it's rare to find actually good production. What do you think about that? Any comment? Any objection?
I think the old
Huh?
Uh, I'm saying like these days it is not possible because too much of glamour and story and all, like how they depict is not it should be. But I think the old ones, Ramayana and
Yeah,
Sri
some
Krishna
of the
serial,
old
which
ones are
was telling us.
probably more solid. Like, for example, I saw
Hmm.
many years ago, maybe, 30, 40 years ago, I saw one Sita Swayamvar, that I
Okay.
don't remember exactly. I think it was made in the 70s. And it was nice. It was nicer than what they do today. It was, you could see there was more effort, more devotion into it. Of course, Rama was completely white and chubby. He didn't look much of a kshatriya. He was just like, a teddy bear, nice and chubby, you know, with rosy cheeks and, white skin. Pinky, very pinky skin. But okay, I mean, at least he didn't look like a joker, which is already, so he had a kind of majesty and, and poise, but strength at the same time. So I guess it was not that bad. But, with time, the need for advertisement and industrialization and how is this called? The gross domestic product, GDP, has gone up. So people are more interested in worshipping the GDP. They're more GDP bhaktas than Krishna bhaktas. So what can I say? But okay, maybe we should try to watch the old ones. See which
Yes.
ones are good. Maybe we can put some, some links in the description of this video. Let's see. Maybe we can encourage people to improve their understanding of Ishvara. That is less trivial, less superficial. Because if we actually read the Shastra, even just, the Bhagavad Purana, okay, now we have Krishna. People like Krishna, the nice little boy, the coward boy, and stealing the butter, makan chor, nice and chubby as well. And, playing with the little gopis and everything. So it's, it can become pretty sentimental and superficial. But in the actual Shastra, in the actual text, there is a lot of philosophy and theology as well. It's not just a story. We have a lot of prayers like the prayers of Indra, and then we have Mother Yashoda, looking in the mouth of Krishna, seeing the entire universe. And then we have, all these things that are not just like fairy tales. They're not just like cheap stories, cheap fiction. The problem is when the commercial intention come up. Like I saw one of the worst ones that I happened to see when I was watching the TV in India. Is, I don't know if you remember, if you've seen it, Roll 21, that is presenting Krishna in the modern days as a regular boy, and Kamsa is the principal of the school where Krishna is going. And in this cartoon series, Krishna decides by his magic flute. He uses his flute like a magic wand, and he decides to kill all the crocodiles and the robots, not without any explanation why. And then there was another cartoon on the Mahabharata, and the teaser was, something to, push you to pull your hair out. Because the teaser was Krishna and Arjuna on the chariot, and instead of talking about the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is saying, "Oh Krishna, how fool have I been? What was I thinking of challenging the Kurus into battle? Quick, I am so scared, let's run away." It's like, what? So, this is what happens. How do we expect people to get the right ideas? It's practically impossible. It's impossible. Then we see, the devas who are, being mean to each other, being mean to their wives and mean to their families, and they have, they're projecting the same bad, family and social relationships on the devas, because they think that people will like that, So the people are getting these weird ideas that Parvati was the second wife. And how did she feel about that? And who was the first wife? It's so stupid. But, here you go. You have this, and, can't do much about it. We try to help the people to understand the meaning, but we need to get to a level of understanding, of realization of the Atma Vidya. Otherwise, it's a problem. It's a problem. Anyway, so this is the situation. Anything else for today? We leave the chapter 11 for next time.
Yeah, it like today in this chapter, Krishna explained
Yeah,
that
this is the end
it's
of
not
chapter
only in the
10.
being, but in action also he is there. Like we usually what we perceive is that okay, Brahman is all pervading, so we think of things and beings, but in actions, in words, so in those things, like in those places also Krishna is saying, I'm present.
Yeah, it's like, you see, these chapters 10 and 11, where Krishna is offering some meditation points, is just like when you want to drink water. Okay? So water is everywhere, including in the air. Even in the air in the desert. There is always, maybe 15 or 20% of water in the air. Even in the desert. But how can we drink it? We need to concentrate. We need to, make it more prominent, increase the percentage of the presence. So this is why Krishna is speaking about the most prominent, the most powerful, the most perceptible, realities of existence, so that we can appreciate the power, the infinite power of God. Of course, we know that God is in every being, in every atom, and everything, but God is more visible. It's not that He's more present, but He's more visible, for example, in the heart of the pure devotee, of the rishis, of the self-realized souls who actually have the direct darshan of Bhagavad. You see the difference. So of course, Paramatma is everywhere. But in the heart of someone who's actually listening to the Paramatma, you can perceive the presence of the Paramatma much more. You see the example. Omnipresence is a very deep subject. It has so much, so much scope. That's why Krishna is saying the scope of my glories. It's about the scope, about the dimension, about the greatness. So in the same way, we know Paramatma is in every atom, but why then we worship the Vigraha, the Murti? We could worship a pair of shoes, Paramatma. God could be there as well, God is there as well. But why don't we worship our shoes? We worship the Vigraha. Because the presence of God is more perceptible. We can perceive it more clearly. Because it's more prominent. It's not that it's more prominent in quantity, but it's more visible. We can see it better. You see, you understand the metaphor, the analogy. So, yeah, this is the same idea by which people ask, why do we need deity worship? Why do we need temples? Of course, God is everywhere. Thank you very much. Well, we knew that. But can you feel the same presence in the Vigraha and everywhere else? Not the same. Because the consciousness is more focused. How you have a condensation of water, through a particular, type of well or wadi in the desert that takes the water from the air and precipitate the water. Because it focuses it. It concentrates the water, condensate the water. The same is about God. When the condensation, the concentration of the consciousness is focused properly, then we can perceive God more clearly. It's not easy to understand. I know. But it's the same idea when we say that everybody, the Atman is already perfect. Okay, so the Atman is Satchitananda, right? Satchitananda Vigraha. So the Atman is already perfect. So why do we need to do sadhana? If the Atman is already perfect, what's the problem? The consciousness needs to be focused and concentrated and condensed. And that is developing this Siddha Deha. That is, at the same time, the Atman is never changing and is changing at the same time. This is the meaning of Achintya Bheda. At the same time, it's the same and it's different. It's one and distinct. We can continue. I think these, 2 chapters are very useful for meditation in this direction. And I really appreciate Krishna offering these meditations to us through Arjuna. It's so good that Krishna didn't tell Arjuna, think of me playing the flute, sitting in the middle of the gopis. Because that would not have helped. Because when you tell people, think of Krishna playing the flute and the gopis and the Yamuna and Vrindavan, whatever, people get a material image. They think Krishna is a regular boy, but that's not Yogamaya that makes them think like that. It's Mahamaya, that's a different thing. So they underestimate Krishna. They think they can cheat Krishna. Okay. Anyway, okay. I think we elaborated. You have any observation, any comment?
But yeah, one thing, here Krishna explained that, he's choosing best of those, from Pandavas, he chose Dhananjaya. But from the all-pervading aspect, he's also there in the other 4 Pandavas.
Of course.
So, why in this way he's choosing best, but not the others?
Because he's focusing on the consciousness. Arjuna is the most important of the Pandavas. You can see it's Arjuna is the closest friend to Krishna, and it's Arjuna who is asking Krishna to be on his chariot, and Krishna is talking to Arjuna. Why he didn't give the Bhagavad Gita to Yudhishthira? Yudhishthira was the eldest. But Yudhishthira was not the most important of the Pandavas. Arjuna was going around, when Yudhishthira did the Rajasuya Yagya, he sent Arjuna around with the army, with a horse, the Ashwamedha Yagya. When they, the Pandavas got a wife in Draupadi, it was Arjuna who won Draupadi. So
no, but what I'm trying to ask is, like, when he said, what I'm trying to ask is, when Krishna is saying about, like, okay, in elephants I'm Airavat, but he's also there in other elephants. Like, why he's like,
because
choosing that way that you
Airavata
put
is the most
Airavata, I'm there,
important.
but why not in other elephants, or why not in other
Yeah, because
Adityas? He's everywhere, right?
because Airavata is special. Is the most important elephant, the most powerful, the most divine, the most, the most radiant, the most prominent. Like the king among the human beings, Krishna says, I am the king. Of course, all the human beings have, the Paramatma is there and everything, but the king has more power than other human beings. He has more power even than the Brahmanas. From the point of view of the human society, the king is more powerful than the Brahmanas. He's not more qualified, than the Brahmanas, but he's more powerful. His presence, his essence is more powerful, is most prominent. The Brahmanas just, give him advice. But the king is the one who's, enforcing to protecting the prajas. The Brahmanas are not protecting the prajas. The power of the Brahmanas is different. It's not that the power of the Kshatriyas is more than the power of the Brahmanas. But the king is the manifestation of God. The divine power. Of course, the king must be qualified. It's not that you take a total, less than a Shudra and you put a crown on his head and you call him Charles, whatever. Seventh of the name, that's not a king. As we could say, king is who king does. So the king must be qualified, but when a king is qualified, he's so powerful. So he is so prominent, he can very well focus the consciousness of those who look at him. You understand? Again, it's the point is, what is focusing the consciousness? It's like the condensed water in a wadi in the desert. It's a concentration of consciousness. It's a condensation. Of course, Krishna is, as Paramatma, is in all the elephants. But Airavata is the heavenly elephant, is the mount of Indra. So there's no comparison with the ordinary elephants. I don't know. It needs to be digested. I know. I don't know how to explain it better. Maybe we can think about it and we can continue. Maybe you can write down some questions. So maybe next time we can elaborate. What you think?
Okay.
Good. Okay then. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time and explanations and patience.
We can close here and we continue next time. Jai Jagannath.
Yes.